Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do another tutorial for the Age of Empires 2 scenario editor. Well, in this case it is less for the scenario editor and more for just bouncing files around and editing some text, but it will help you doing a very nice scenario. Last time I showed you how to do a campaign map, and this time I'm going to show you how to do a intro and outro sequence like you would expect in a official campaign. So you still remember our Subotai folder from last time. In here we got widget UI, which if you don't have it, just create one, but I will also give the whole file accessible to you so you can see how it works and edit it to your purposes. But in widget UI there is textures, in there is campaign, and there is Subotai. Here's a folder called 1, and this is the folder which includes all of the images I would use in the slides for the first scenario. In this case I only have one folder, but you could have as many folders as you like for better order keeping. And then there you got the intro and the outro folders, and in one of each of these are a few images, 4 for the intro and 2 for the outro. But now that this is done, I'm going to show you what you actually do with those files. Let's go back here in resources, common campaign. We last time looked at the adventures of Subotai_layout.json file. This time we're going to look at the adventures of Subotai.json file. There we go. Big file, lots of spooky brackets and text and stuff, but I'm going to break this down for you right now. First of all, here we got, well, the scenarios, starting with the first scenario. And there are sequences for the intro. So the intro sequence starts here. And then there's the outro sequence. After that, since this is a 2-scenario campaign, we got another intro sequence, another outro sequence, and that's it. So what does each of those sequences consist of? Well, at the very start, you got 2 file paths, and the first one actually tells you the background of your slideshow, and the second one tells you the individual images, where the individual images are you want to use in the foreground. So to get the background files, you want to look at the Age of Empires 2 DE game files on Steam. So I prepared this here. Here's the Age of Empires 2 DE folder. There inside of widget UI, textures and campaign, you got, well, all of the official campaigns. And for example, if you want to go for FCAM 3, you see this actually the Bari campaign. So here, instead of using textures campaign cam for Genghis Khan background DDS, you would use textures campaign fcam3 bari_background.dds, and you would have the background of the Bari campaign for the slideshow. Now, this path here should also be very familiar to you, since we just created that file path in the mod folder itself. So in the Subotai folder, but in the mod folder to be precise, it's textures campaign Subotai 1 intro, and then %d.png. So what this does is actually, for each slide, it takes the number of that slide and then the file lining.png, because it's a image file. So for the first one, it will be 1.png, for the second one, it will be 2.png, which is coincidentally what all of our images are called like. So that is done like this. And then we got the slides themselves. They all consist of duration. In this case, this is 5 seconds. So this slide will be shown for a total of 5 seconds. The text fade duration tells you how long the text takes to fade in, because it's just not appearing all at the same time, but actually in a way that you can read along it, or it actually gets read out depending on how you do stuff. And here the image direct tells you where the file, like the image file, the PNG files in this case, where they are, like the coordinates of those, and how large they are. And here's the text, like the string, which is shown in this slide itself, as well as the coordinates, X and Y coordinates. So these coordinates actually work just as they did in the last tutorial. You got a 0x, 0y point in the top left corner. So the further right you want to go, the higher you need to go with X, and the further to the bottom you want to go, the higher you need to go on the Y. And also the width and the height of your text. So if you have like a lot of dark areas in the image to the right you want to use, then you want to decrease the width a little bit so it appears a little bit blockier. And this is the end of the first slide. Now the second slide comes. Here we don't need to actually tell them how large the image is, but we still need the duration, the text fade duration, the string, and the coordinates of that, and the size, of course. This is the second, and now you would just basically do the same again for each additional slide you want to have in here. And that's 4 slides. Then we close a lot of brackets here. This is why I like to use Notepad++ so much, because it actually tells you which of those brackets closes which. So you see here, at this point, intro sequence is closed. So no outro sequence begins. And this is basically the same thing again, only this time the path actually tells us we use the outro folder because we have different images we want to use in the outro. And we got the duration, the text fade duration, like all of the thing which I just explained over there. You just use that again here. You close basically scenario 1. In this bracket, scenario 2 begins. In this case, we got 2 scenarios, and the intro and outer sequence are strikingly similar. In this case, I used the same images. I told people that was the second mission though, so that's the difference. But the rest is basically the same. And here again, make sure that you don't actually accidentally delete anything, and the first bracket here actually gets closed, and everything should be fine. So now let's actually head in game for a short demonstration of this thing. Here's other thing we did last time. We've got the character tirade and a wondrous world. Let's head for the first one. There you see text fading in rather quickly. Not much text, so it fades out. It vanishes relatively quickly as well. And of course, this is all placeholder stuff, so should get the point across though. And it seems a little bit too fast actually, but yeah. There we go. And now we should see. There we go, yeah. We got the different background. This is the Saladin one. And got some different images, only 2 slides. And no achievements. Good. So hopefully now you should be able to get a wonderfully professional looking campaign style intro and outro for your missions, and I wish you a lovely day. I can't wait to see what you guys will come up with this, and if you got any questions, of course, post them below, and suggestions for new tutorials or something along those lines. If you created your own campaigns and want me to take a look at them, feel free to contact me as well. I would love to see some of your creations. But at this point, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time. This has been Alkalim. Goodbye.